So let's get some legal perspective on the jailhouse interview from San Diego criminal defense attorney Anna Young. So Anna, thank you for joining us this evening. Again, Anna is criminal defense attorney.
Thank you, Leah.
Thanks for coming. What are the legal consequences of Armando Perez doing an interview with us?
Well, I think the legal consequences certainly changes the dynamic of how this case is going to move forward, because no longer is it a situation where it's a who did it. Now that he's admitted his involvement in terms of the crime, it's a matter of why was it done. And I think that when you look at terms of why was it done, you have to focus on the sentencing issues and the potential punishment associated with the crime in and of itself. I think that because he gave his statement regarding the fact that he did do it, I think then it becomes a situation of, okay, so why exactly was it done?
Okay. Well, he did an interview with us without his attorney present, so how can his attorney now mitigate the damage?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. My understanding is that the attorney was not present, and for all we know, we don't even know if the attorney knew that he had agreed to give an actual exclusive interview. Now that he has given an interview, I think that the attorney needs to look at some of the things that he said to capitalize on it. In fact, he said it was not a crime of first degree. It was not planned. It was something that happened because he snapped and he just lost it. So I think that based upon the statements that he's already made, I think that the attorney or the defense attorney needs to look into that and to look into potential investigation to see if those claims have merit.
Okay. Well, during court, during his arraignment, Perez said that he was guilty. So why was he not allowed to plead guilty?
Right. As a general rule, when you're looking at the arraignment, you have an opportunity to plead guilty or not guilty. And at the time of the arraignment, the defense attorney does not have all of the discovery, the evidence that they need to go over it and to conduct a thorough legal analysis. So technically, it would be committing malpractice to advise a client to plead guilty, especially in a case like this, without looking at the facts, without looking at the discovery, and without going over potential defenses for the client. So even though Mr. Perez said, "I'm guilty, I don't know why I can't plead guilty," as a general rule, the defense attorney has to say, you know what, you have to plead not guilty, let's look at all the evidence, and then look at the potential defenses available to you.
Okay. Well, Perez is due back in court on Monday, so what happens next in the legal proceedings?
Right. Well, my understanding was that there's a lot of drama that happened in the courtroom. He had this outburst, and I believe that he had to even get escorted out. So what's going to happen on Monday is that there's going to be a bail review, because right now the bail is set at no bail, and that will be his opportunity to try to convince to the judge whether there should be a lower bail set. And the judge is going to have to look at a number of circumstances, such as whether he's a flight risk. And judging from the fact that he's already fled to Mexico, that's something that's not going to serve in his favor. Of course, the judge is also going to look to see if he's a danger to society, what type of ties he has to the community, things like that. So that's what he's going to be doing on Monday.
Okay. Now, since he's already admitted guilt, will there actually be a trial?
Absolutely, absolutely, especially in a case like this, because there's a special circumstance that's alleged that he was lying in wait. He's looking at a circumstance, if he gets convicted, that he could be looking at life without the possibility of parole. So now the legal issue is, again, not whether he did it, but what kind of circumstances were there? Was he truly lying in wait, or was this a circumstance where it was more along the lines of manslaughter? Did he act out of a heat of passion, as opposed to something where he waited and it was with premeditation and deliberation? So there definitely will be a trial.
Now, in your perspective, is there anything that he could gain from having publicly admitted guilt? Could he perhaps get a lesser sentence?
Well, I think that judging from his interview with NBC, it looked like he was remorseful in the sense that he was crying and he gave an actual apology, and that may be something that the defense attorney can argue to the court regarding acceptance of responsibility and mitigating circumstances. But it's really too early to tell without knowing all the facts of the case and with such little information being exposed yet. But as he had indicated, as time goes by, there might be more facts at our disposal to be able to really see whether those factors would serve in mitigation.
Okay. Now, my understanding is that Perez is now not eligible for the death penalty because he fled to Mexico. Can you explain why that is?
Well, my understanding is that after the crime was committed back in 2010, he had fled to Mexico, and he was apprehended in Tijuana, I believe it was in February, and then he was transferred over to Mexico City, and then just recently he was extradited back. And based upon what my understanding is that in exchange for Mexico giving him to us in extradition, that the district attorney would not pursue the death penalty. Instead, she would pursue life without the possibility of parole. So I think that was an understanding that was established before he was provided to us by the Mexican authorities.
Well, thank you so much, Anna Young, for joining us. And again, Anna is a San Diego criminal defense attorney.
Thank you.